Good evening, viewer. Welcome to our Active English. As the dust cleared around the capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro in a surprise military strike earlier this month, US officials left little questions that they had another target to China. A long-time friend to the government in Caracas, China has for years pumped money into the oil fields and infrastructure of the South American country. Maduro's ouster as a blow to that partnership that could relieve Chinese banks facing billions in unpaid Venezuelan debt. But viewed from Beijing, the stakes were much higher than their. The shakeup was also the loudest warning should yet of a deeper campaign for the Trump administration to root out China's influence across Latin America. Beijing has spent decades growing its trade ties and bankrolling projects in the region to boost transportation links and cut energy costs, cementing its own influence along the way. A U.S. national security strategy released in December pledged to deny non-hemispheric competitors control of strategically vital assets in the Western Hemisphere and make every effort to push out foreign companies that build infrastructure in the region. Speaking to oil executive at the White House earlier this month about Venezuela, US President Donald Trump spoke more plainly. If we did not do this, China would have been there and Russia would have been there, but they are not going to be there now. Washington's new assertiveness now has a name, the so-called Donroe doctrine, a twist on an 1823 statement by President James Monroe warning European colonial powers to respect the US sphere of influence in the Western Hemisphere. The rift was coined by right wing commentators and has been used by the president himself. Now, the questions of whether the US could again use force or tactics like tariffs or sanctions to strong arm countries into choosing Washington interests over ties with China is a viable risk being evaluated in the region's capitals. So there is no doubt that the pressure is on and the countries are vulnerable to it. And in foreign ministries, people are planning different ways to how to handle this, said George Hani, a former Chilean ambassador to China. Beijing is well aware of how US pressure could make governments become more wary of working with Chinese firms or re-evaluate existing ties. Analysts in its policy circle says something that's already happened in Panama. There is a High Court decided Thursday to annual port contracts held by a Hong Kong linked firm, which the US has wanted to oust from its decades long operation at the Panama Canal. The court found the contracts were unconstitutional. Bien, the exclusive report.